Okay. Dennis, how you been doing, man?
Good to see you, Andy.
Yes, sir. Good to see you. Good to see you. Everything going well for you?
Doing real good.
What's the word for Dennis White tonight?
Football season is upon us.
Yeah.
Looking forward to Friday night football. Looking forward to Thursday night here at Shane Rib Shack. Matter of fact, looking forward to being back with Andy Durham. I haven't seen you in a while. We've been hitting and missing during the summer, but we're back together now in the saddle, ready to ride.
Ready to roll again. How about rolling here? Have you thought about the Dennis White Player of the Week this week? Who's going to be the Player of the Week?
Yeah, I certainly have. And
Did you notice that on the website?
Yes, sir.
Had your name in big print. They're looking at big Dennis White, man.
When your name is in big print with Andy Durham, you have to be ready.
You better be ready, yeah.
Yeah, and with all of the excitement in the air on Friday night football, first game of the year, Herndon and Hooker over at Dudley, even though they played an opponent of Carver, his passing, 3 touchdowns, ran for 4 touchdown night, 28 points. And, there's some other good standouts, but I have to go with Herndon and Hooker this week.
Go Hooker. Okay, that's a good possibility. Mr. Hooker on your list of possibilities this week, so Hooker will be the man. What kind of game did he have last week? Let's look his numbers up. We had, let's see, Stephen Baldwin of Southeast toward the top with 296. Then we had Bryant Barr from Eastern Guilford, 287. 269 for Ray Sean Knight. 256 for Hooker. Hooker with 229 yards, good for 3 TDs, also a running touchdown. Not bad.
Not a bad night for a sophomore quarterback, a junior quarterback. Junior quarterback, second year playing. One of the things that I believe in for success of a state championship run has got to go through a quarterback. And no matter how good your defense, you got to have a good, smart quarterback. And Hooker starting out the season, you and I talked with him, matter of fact, after the scrimmage game, and he was very happy and excited about that Coach Davis have given him a green light. We asked him a question, and he can audible at will. So I think this kid have a bright future.
So your number this week, you're going to go Mr. Hooker as the man of the week.
Yes.
Gotcha. Any thoughts about other games last week that you tracked or followed?
Yes. One of the games I was at, it started out to be a great first quarter. Smith and Northwest. Smith held their own on defense, but Northwest have a dynamic duo in the mix of the quarterback, Jake, and Andy, real quick, I can get into this. When I was interviewing Coach Rothfuss, the first thing he said, he just bust out laughing. He said, "Let me give you the right quarterback this year."
He still remembers, yeah. He won't forget that for a while. Yes, sir.
Yeah, he had that. They just had to laugh during the interview, and we both laughed. And he said, "I got you on that one." I said, "Yes, you certainly did." But Northwest played a great game and scored 35 points when I left at the ending of the third quarter. Northwest looked real good. They was clicking on all cylinders. New defensive coordinator came in from Ohio, came in from Raffles, Apple Model.
They brought a guy down with him from Ohio. Sometimes coaches do that. When Coach Woodruff was there, he brought a guy in with him when he moved in from, I think Coach Woodruff came in from Michigan. Yeah, he had been in Florida, came back from Michigan. He brought a guy with him, and they took that guy back with him when he went back to Michigan. But Coach Rothfuss brings a new man from Ohio then.
Right, that's just like you got me from South Carolina and brought me to Greensboro.
That's it, yeah.
And I haven't gone back since.
Yeah.
And there's 2 of us here from South Carolina. Me and Johnny Roscoe, so you got both of us.
And people kept asking me, said, "Man, you need to get a white man in your music, man. You need to get a white man. You get a white man on your show." I said, "Here he is, Dennis White. He's here." I said, "Here he is, brother."
Here I am.
I said, my favorites told me, "I play that funky music, white boy. Play that funky music, right? Get down and boogie and play that funky music till you die." Yeah, Dennis White's here with us. Till you die, yes, sir. Yeah. Yes, sir.
And this is what we get when we miss each other. We come back, laugh like we left. The same high spirit of laughter that we left with, we're back. It's football season, man.
That's it.
Yes, sir. Thursday nights is a night we get to laugh and enjoy. Friday night, it's all business.
All business, yes, sir.
All business.
Yes, sir. What about business-wise, this Page and Northern Guilford game tomorrow night? What do you think about that?
I think it's going to be a great game. Page proved to everybody that they have more than Overton. They proved they have a defense. Matter of fact, they still have backfield, a starting defensive back, German level, who you and I have watched mature and almost follow right in the steps of Ed Britt. He's one of those Ed Britt defensive backs that you're not going to be able to pass, and Burton level he's learned. And so with that defense, and then you have Overton on offense, 2 stars, 2 guys that can go to D1, the next level, and you always have to watch out for Northern. We don't know what they have. Page first game against Davie County. Davie County used to blow Page out this year. Page beat them, scored 50 points in their first ball game. So that's speaking volume of Page.
It is. And so, 46 of those came in the first half, too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And was that a shock to you, Andy? Did you
kind of like sometimes the thing just starts building and just kind of moves on. Once you get rolling, you're pretty good. And they also, Page, that same night, you talked about different guys that got rolling. Overton was rolling, but this kid, Will Jones, the quarterback, rolling quite well, too.
Yeah, Will replaced the Brit from last year, Dominique. Will got some playing time last year. And so you're right, he has been working all summer long. I talked to Coach Gillespie. He said that he is coming into his own. When Coach Gillespie tells you a player is coming to their own, that means they have bought into the Page system. And at the scrimmage game at Dudley, he was very high on the blue collar. He was very high on detail. And that's what he's working with Will in rhythm. He wants Will to get his rhythm, to be poised, and this quarterback can take Page a long way.
Tell you what, you mentioned Ed Britt. I think Ed's down at Presbyterian right now. He's had a very good college career down there, too. Had a great college career. Absolutely. I mean, he's done some things in the field, interceptions, big tackles, big plays. He is probably the big play man on that Presbyterian Blue Hose defense. He
certainly is, and Ed Britt was on that state championship team, that Page. You and I saw Ed do a tremendous job on some big-time teams when he was needed. Ed Britt always stepped up. Ed Britt was a great defensive player, great defensive back. So I have to give the edge to Northern due to you just don't go into Johnny Roscoe Stadium and beat the Nighthawks.
Well, they got this one at Page.
At Page, correction.
You think it's an edge?
Correction. I thought it was at.
Well, you think it's an edge for Page since it's at Page, or you still go Northern?
I still have Northern. I thought it was.
Northern's got the new quarterback. It's going to be Miles Timmons. Timmons takes over in place of Cam Harris. Their new receiver was there last year. Little dude, Tucker Horde. He's a big play receiver. Running back, you know him well, C.J. Freeman. He's back full steam.
And that's the weapon. C.J. Freeman, even though you and I, the last time we saw him, he was banged up. The second half, he didn't play in the state championship game due to an injury. But C.J. Freeman is one of the Greensboro sports personalities that we love. He's just a wonderful guy. We've met all the kids are wonderful. C.J. Freeman, when it's time for football, you and I talked, when we first saw him, he didn't even look like the kid that we saw out there in those pants. He's this small, great guy, but you discovered him in 8th grader. You told me about him. Andy, real quickly, every kid you told me about in the 7th or 8th grade, they have certainly panned out to be the face of the franchise. And Mr. Freeman is now the face of the franchise. No more TJ Logan.
Yeah, they got to get a little backup run in for him. They've got a little kid I saw out there during the scrimmage, number 23. His name escapes me now. They had the Malik kid who was 23 a couple of years ago. He was more of a speedy runner. The number 23 they got now, it's Quoshi. He's a linebacker also. This Quoshi kid is number 23. This kid is a power runner. He hits people hard in the shoulders, gets them in the upper body, knocks people back off the ball when he runs. Quoshi is his last name. Quashie. Linebacker last year.
Remind me of you back in the days, hadn't it, Durham?
Exactly. Yeah, I don't know why, but that's the way it was. I mean, hit people harder than they hit you, and you used to come out a couple yards ahead. Yeah.
And you used to be the one that's standing up. You used to be the one going home without a headache.
Yeah, I don't remember going down too many times, but I do have a few headaches today. Probably got hit then, didn't realize actually how hard the hit was.
And that's how you got that ditch. You're the face of the franchise of the ditch crew.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's it. I've got to get by that ditch one day. Just to look at the Andy Durham centerpiece.
Right into the runway over on Oak Ridge Road. Into the runway, you'll see that ditch where I came through. Yeah. But I still remember going to those first game of the season all these guys were having now. I still remember going to those high school, we'd have these pep rallies for the first game, and they would announce all the players' names. being those crazy pepper. Sometimes I miss these days. Think about, I wish I would have done more promotion back then.
Right.
I just I try to be humble, take low key, take stride, move on. I almost wish I just would have went berserk, went crazy during those times. Probably could have made some good money in the WWE or something like that. Maybe, who knows? But they would start calling my name out during that pep rally. They call that name, and the whole school just yelling that name. They loved that name. That Moose name was just crazy, man. The whole school be chanting that out. It was crazy.
And that's what I like you said. That's the spirit.
Oh yeah, that's what it's all about. Yeah,
that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
That's why you play the game. And I'm like you, Andy. The pep rallies that got you. You was fired up at 2:15 for the game at 7:30.
Yeah.
You was ready. And talking about ready, I think this year, Guilford County, there is no clear decisive winner that you can say, because it's so competitive now. It's really, teams are
I
really.
can say one, I think. Dudley.
One have the edge.
I think Dudley's got an edge. Yeah, I think they still got the edge. So somebody proves it different.
Yeah, when you look at teams,
there's some great teams out there. Good teams. There's some good competition.
I think this will be a year, and rather than have two teams in the third and fourth round, I think we can have 5 or 6 in the Guilford County.
It could be, yeah.
I really do believe.
If things go right for Page could be a big major competitor.
Absolutely.
Northern Guilford's going to be there. We already know Dudley's going to be there. Northwest, Southeast is running strong again. Southeast, Eastern tomorrow night. That's a big game.
That's a big
because Eastern knocked off Southern that first game. That was a major step in the right direction for Eastern, losing as many guys. They lost Moorhead, lost Benton, they lost Finnerty, lost a ton of guys off that Eastern Guilford team last year. Coach Roberts has done a good job keeping that team away from where I was at. He's keeping that team out of the ditch.
Yeah, absolutely. He's come in. He's done an outstanding job. You and I saw the game last year that he could have gotten. He could have won the biggest game of his career.
That place would have been wilder than the night I announced that Northern had gotten beat by Riesler or somebody. Remember I announced that over the PNC tonight. Last year that Northern Eastern game, that would have been crazier. It would have been off the hook.
Yeah, absolutely.
There was so many people running around the track down there even today from last year's game.
That would have been the bomb.com, you know.
Oh yeah, hey man, where's the bomb.com? I love the bomb.com.
And Andy, that's the game that I said the wine and cheese crowd.
Yeah,
and
I remember. Yeah, you got some recognition that night.
I almost had to be carried out of there, you know.
And that shows the effectiveness of doing those broadcasts. Those broadcasts can be effective. Yeah.
And I thought the crowd should have been more into it. It's the biggest game of these kids' career.
Yeah.
And no one is out. I mean, you and I, we was more louder almost than some of the fans because it was a big game.
Oh, yeah.
And those are the type games that you like to broadcast and you like to see.
Yeah, and that game down at Southern Guilford last year was a crazy game, too. And that game ended on that 2-point conversion attempt. Just crazy game.
And Andy, you called that play out to me. You were saying that, you know, they should have.
Hush Puppy's in the house.
Hush Puppy Paul. Paul is a great man. Good. And do you still feel they should have went another route other than snapping it straight to Gillespie, just put it in no bread basket, and the results probably have been different?
We're never going to know.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's one of those things that when you become a bench coach, what would you have done, you know? So
yeah.
They had a great ride, a great season. And
well, as Amon mentioned earlier, there was a little bit of breakdown in the snap. A little bit of breakdown in the snap.
Right,
Snap did not come back to Gillespie clean. If you got to move this way, when you're hoping to move in that way starting out, it changes things.
That's already a second. You've already allowed the defense to break down.
That one step is a huge difference.
It's a big difference because it takes a football move, as they call it, to hold a block for 1 second. And if that defender jump or get the jump on you, he's already ready to call chaos in your play. And that's exactly what happened. And they stopped him cold and won the ball game. And it was a cold night. Cold night.
Yeah. Tell you what, these Hush Puppies with the bomb.com, these Hush Puppies are great. They're good, and they're unreal. And they're good.
Outstanding job.
Yes, he does.
Outstanding job.
Gotta love Shane's Rib Shack. There's a good deal for the wall up there, too. Somebody want to check out that baked half chicken. It's less than $10. Get that baked half chicken. I was thinking about that today. I would love right now, if I just walked in off the street, I'd be getting that baked half chicken, man. And that would be rolling down the road. That's a good deal.
That's a great deal.
Good deal. The old baked half chicken, I like it. Dennis, what's your off season been like getting ready for this year?
Well, off season been work, preaching, very hectic.
Yeah.
And I, for the first time, I did a lot of homework on football. One of the things I believe, anything that you're doing as a craft, you ought to study it and to be more involved in your craft and to go and sharpen your skills. So that's what I was doing even in the preseason. Even in the preseason of the pro games, I find myself color commentating behind the commentators, or getting prepared for when you and I, it's a fourth quarter, how to be able to step in now. I believe that you have to be so involved with what you're doing that you study it and practice. Listen to some of your interviews, listen to your techniques, and I've really been doing a lot of studying the game.
What about the Carolina Panthers who lost Kelvin Benjamin? Do they need to go out? I thought if I were them, I would go out and try to get Steve Smith back in there. Smith said it's his last year. If he extended,
bring him back home.
Bring him back home for his last year. He played his tail off for his last year at home.
Absolutely.
I know there's going to be a cost to buying his contract out from the Ravens, but I'd buy it out. And they want to some draft picks. Give them the draft picks. Worry about that later.
Yeah, and you bring up a very good point.
I'd go get Steve Smith. Yeah. Bring him back. Now, I'll take care of you. Good luck. Thank you so much. Good job as always. I've become a follower of the cello. I'm a cello follower now. Niles, something, man.
Yeah.
Niall Harris, celloist.
Yeah, that's a hard instrument to play, man.
Good luck to you, man. Good luck.
Wow. You're talking about an instrument.
Yeah. The cello. I was thinking about the oboe, because oboe is about like a flute. The guy played the oboe in church last week in our church, which was really nice. But, Niall plays the cello.
Wow.
Which I guess in some ways is like a smaller version, kind of like a harp in some ways.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But what about that Steve Smith deal?
Yeah, that's a very good point you brought up, because Steve Smith will add a lot more faces in the stands.
Gives him a deep threat.
Smith, absolutely. And that right there would free up a lot of Cam Newton.
Maybe they could repair some of the bad feelings they had when he left. Maybe get those feelings straightened out. I think it'd be a very happy ending, in my opinion. It could be a real good feel-good story. Yeah. If things didn't go well, everybody would jump on your case for having done it. But hey, what the heck?
And it wasn't a bitter marriage. They separated and they went on their way. And Ted Ginn Jr., he's going to be a go-to guy for Cam Newton.
I still think Ginn's a better return man than he is a receiver.
Absolutely.
He can help you receive. I see he's a very good return man.
Absolutely.
A lot of good expectations for that team this year.
I'm looking forward to it. I have made the Panthers almost my new NFL team. I love the Dallas Cowboys, but Carolina Panthers is home. Hour, 20-minute drive to a game. Get a lot of publicity in our community and from us. So I like the Panthers. I like the Panthers.
I like them too. I was a Redskin man. I've been a Redskin fan for years, but we don't get Redskins publicity. If you can't follow a team, how can you follow a team?
Absolutely. You're right.
But Panthers, hear about them all the time.
Yeah, we hear about the Panthers all the time, and they need support. It's our home state, and we need support.
It's fun to watch it on Sundays. It's a good Sunday afternoon pastime. I like the first half. After the first half, we're going to do something else. Watch that first half, get a feel for what they're doing that week, and check them out. And the running game better work, too, since they made some changes there.
Absolutely.
Because they got rid of Williams and just going Jonathan Stewart, right? Jonathan Stewart, yeah.
Jonathan Stewart. And still have Mike Tolbert.
Big man out of Coastal Carolina. Love that guy.
Still have Big Tolbert.
Hey, I'll tell you right now, love that guy. Hard-working dude.
Absolutely.
Came out of San Diego Chargers.
Yeah.
Hard-working runner.
Hard-working running back. He can get you some yards, man. Get you some first downs.
So what are your thoughts about, we talked about Page and Northern. I think Grimsley, what I learned tonight from Lance McMillan told me about Malik Stimson not starting for Grimsley. That could be a big difference in that game. New quarterback. Malik did very good last week against Ragsdale. Got bumped up on the shoulder some. I think he played most of the game. But anyway, Malik is down. Grimsley goes number 2 man tomorrow night. So Grimsley's going to run that ball a lot.
Yeah, they're going to have to run it a lot. They're going to have to run it a lot to be able to get some offense going. And that NASCAR offense.
Yeah, they got to run it with Curtis Martin and the 2 Williams brothers.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing about the Grimsley NASCAR offense, when you and I saw their first game against Ragsdale, they was running it to perfection. And then later on that year, you and I both were saying that it stalled, like they got away from it.
Yeah.
And like you say, Malik Stinson, he's a great package offensive quarterback. He was doing all the offense rooms they had at one point of the season.
No doubt about it.
And to go down there.
And then how it goes kind of wild, you lose your top quarterback, Stimson. This is all just for discussion purposes anyway. But you lose Stimson, and in fact, you lost Gerald Simpson. Gerald left and went to Northeast. Gerald's playing right now on that computer. Northeast taking on High Point Central. We got that game on our website right now with Chris Walzer broadcasting over at Simeon Stadium. Broadcasting right now, but the interesting thing is Simpson, he left because he wanted more playing time, I guess. But now Malik gets hurt, so Simpson could have, how stuff works out. Right. It's crazy how the turn of events go.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Turn of events can change, and that really affects when you don't have that high-powered offensive player backing you up, getting in. That's going to cause a lot of problems for Coach Pat's offense.
But I think his offense can step up tomorrow night if they're ready with a running game. Those two Williams brothers, Caleb and I think it's Caleb and Michael Williams, both were over at Page a couple years ago. They wanted that chance to run that ball. They're getting that chance to run it. Plus, they got the Curtis Martin kid. He'll be back there, too. So
they have some offense. They have some running backs that can really.
But they really, may I ask me to tell you this. When you lose a guy like Stimson and you got to change quarterbacks, now you got to go more to a running game. There's not much room for margin of error. You've got to be successful doing that because you can't really go much toward the pass as much because your top guy's gone.
Yeah,
that running game's got to work for you.
It have to pay big dividends for you because that's now all you can rely upon is the running game. And a defensive coordinator, if he knows, if they find that out or when they find it out, they're going to blitz that quarterback all night long.
Come after
they're going to put pressure on the young quarterback.
Try to get him shook. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, you see that in a lot of cases. And
yes.
I think last week you may have seen that some over there with Northwest and Smith. Once there were problems with that snap, getting that ball back to Dumpson, I think some cases there. That's when that North defense came after him hard.
Yeah, the defensive end, you celebrate. You go and you shake that center's hand and say, thank you, you made my job easier. Because he was blitzing on the corners all night. And left Dumpson under great duress because when you get a low snap, as you said, we're talking about 2 or 3 seconds, now your play is busted.
Right.
And they almost fumbled 2 or 3 times. But luckily Dumpson, Terrell was able to jump on the ball.
Crazy is, as crazy was and is, we saw that scrimmage over at Dudley when Smith was playing there. They looked outstanding that day.
High Point Central, absolutely.
Yeah.
They certainly did. They came out, they started out scoring touchdowns, and then they stopped Central 2 or 3 times, and they got so excited. They started jumping, chest bumping, fist pumping, and you said to me that it's the excitement. You've got to finish up the game.
Yeah, you
got
do.
To finish.
Got to be a carryover. It's the hard part about the carryover. You got to carry that day over there that Friday. Then plus you got to carry it to the next week. It's got to happen the next week too.
Absolutely. And I thought they left on a good note. I thought they finished on a positive note. And I talked with you before, and going into that game, I didn't think Northwest was going to blow them out. I didn't think it was going to be a blowout. Yeah.
Well, Northwest put up a lot of offense that game.
They really did.
I think Jake Smith had about 286 yards passing. Hennigan scored 4 touchdowns. 3 were called back.
Yeah. All night long, it was the Hennigan show. All night long. Number 7 and the little bubble screen, they couldn't stop it. And then he run a little 7-yard crossing route. He was doing it all with his legs.
Yeah, and
he's a very smart player, very high IQ, football high IQ. Hennigan did an outstanding job.
Yeah, and the Finney kid, the running back, he got pretty good yardage too that night. Got about 101. I think it was 101 yards on the ground. He scored 2 touchdowns.
Northwest have a big offensive line for the first time in a long time.
I thought they might go smaller with some of the guys that graduated, but what you're telling me, they're pretty good size.
Yeah, they're a pretty good size line. They was able to hold that defense of Smith at bay with those big deep offensive lines.
Well, Dennis, we talked about Grimsley and Southern Guilford a little bit. Your favorite who in that game?
Southern Guilford. I have to go with the Storm in that.
In the Page and Northern game, you're going with Northern?
I'm going with Northern, yeah.
In the Dudley-Ragsdale game?
Going with Dudley.
Dudley. In the Eastern Guilford versus Southeast Guilford game?
You have to go with Eastern.
Going Eastern to beat Southeast. Tell you, Southeast last week went to West Charlotte. That kid, Stephen Baldwin, had his name on here somewhere. Boy, Baldwin 296 yards last Friday night against West Charlotte down there.
That's amazing.
That's a good start in the season for Southeast.
Absolutely. The West Charlotte, any teams in
a lot of
Charlotte,
history involved there.
Yeah, absolutely.
A lot of history. That Charlotte Vance team we saw, I think I told you this over the phone today, that guy threw for like 444 yards last week.
Absolutely.
I know they weren't playing a powerhouse in West Mecklenburg, but still, you threw for 444 yards against your mom, your sister, and your cousin in the backyard, 3-on-3. That's still pretty good with 6 touchdowns.
That's outstanding. I'll take that any day.
Yeah.
Give me an offensive coordinator job, I'll be happy to have a quarterback with that type of stats.
What's your other thoughts about any games going in tomorrow night?
The thoughts going into the ball game on tomorrow night is the second night, our first game for Northern, second game of the year. I'm looking for the fans to come out and enjoy football all over again. This is the season, this is the time of the year that everybody come out or listen to it on Greensboro Sports. Football is in the atmosphere, and that is, I read an article in a certain paper and said to do away with high school sports. I was like, there is no way you can do away with one of the greatest pastimes on Friday nights, high school football. High school sports is what's happening. And the cheerleaders, the bands, I'm looking forward just to getting there tomorrow night, being back in the saddle. I'm looking forward to a great year of high school football, and seeing some Gifford County teams bring back a state championship.
I'll give you a couple of quick questions I gave those kids today, not all of it, just a few. Chocolate or banana pudding for you?
Oh, I love banana pudding.
What about Ronda Rousey or Floyd Mayweather Jr.? Who are you taking that
Floyd
fight?
Mayweather Jr.
Go with Floyd, no doubt about Ronda at all. No chance there.
I like vanilla pudding, correction.
Vanilla better, huh? Okay.
Yeah,
what about
banana.
Banana? Okay. What about the gun control situation? How do you limit that? Do you have longer background checks? Do you have sell less guns? Do you limit the number of guns being sold? How do you change that problem?
And one of the things that I was asked that in a session, and the first thing I said, just like you and I trying to wonder how we're going to change the weather. You just have to be prepared for it. In gun control, I can't sit here and give you a definitive answer on what we can do. It's going to be hard because you got people that are, I even work with mental people, and keeping the gun out of people's hands. It's gonna be impossible, because whether you buy me one, if I know what one, I can get it black market. So we just pray. It's just pray. I mean, that's my answer. I give you just pray.
Tell you one thing interesting. What happened yesterday up in Smith Mountain Lake up in Virginia? WDBJ Channel 7. The morning anchor and the cameraman both were shot and killed, and a lady was shot in the back up there. Something similar had happened at TV 45 back several years ago when Don was working at that station. There was a man that was killed there about 15 or 20 years ago. At that time, it's kind of interesting how something like that had actually happened before, but I hadn't seen too many people bring up those parallels over the past couple of days. That was back when TV 45, I think it was called WNRW or something like that, different call letters back then, but it was still TV 45 back in the day.
And it's such a tragedy. I was on the social media, and when I seen that, I couldn't believe it, and I immediately
was shocked too.
Turned the news. It was a shocking situation, and to be ambushed like that on a morning TV show. Not only that, to have we have a
24 Northeast is up. Thank you, Don. Good deal. 2014. That's a shocker there. 2014.
shocker.
So we got that halftime score from Don. Halftime, Northeast 20, High Point Central 14. And Northeast last week got beat by Parkland, and Central was knocked off by North Davidson last week.
Absolutely.
That's a Northeast getting it going against that's still a good High Point Central team.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're looking at a Northeast, new coach, a couple of new starters are playing for Northeast. It's a great game for Northeast.
Yeah, if they can hang on. That's good.
If they can hang on.
Gonna have to play.
We've
And
seen
for
it
Northeast,
last year.
that is a big thing, man, to try to hang on to that 6-point halftime lead when they hit that second half. Because they've got back to their quarterback, they got, we mentioned earlier, Gerald Simpson was at Grimsley.
Yeah.
They got Chris Scales, James Scales, the third's little brother.
Absolutely.
He's at running back. Got
Scales.
some kids on that team now, some kids that weren't there last year. So that is a big game for Northeast trying to hang in there.
Yeah, and back to what you were saying about the ambush, it was sad how the killer put it on social media as it was happening. It's a sad day in media history. It's just a sad day, man, on yesterday for those families.
And a couple of final questions for Dennis talking about the gun control. What's your favorite musical instrument?
Favorite music instrument was the drums.
You love those drums. Nathan loved the drums one time, didn't he?
He plays the drums.
If you weren't playing football, would you give up sports completely or play another sport?
I couldn't give up first. I'll play another sport. I played basketball.
Okay. Well, if you're in charge of the U.S. Finance Committee, would you take care of the finances? Do you have the people take care of the financial matters with check, cash, or credit card? Which do you endorse?
I'll stick with the currency. I'll stick with cash.
Cash, good call. And it's about all the questions for Dennis on this list tonight here at Shane's Radio Shack. Let's think about a couple other things to close out. What are some of your closing thoughts as you get set for the football game tomorrow? What are you wanting to do as you get back in this new year? Just looking forward to get back out there. I'm sure you are.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, getting back out with all of our fans, and just take the opportunity to thank everybody. Greensboro sports, people love us when we come into the stadium, the coaches, the ADs. It just makes me feel good when you put on the black shirt, the green shirt, the white shirt, and you go into stadiums and get prepared. You and I used to get there while the sun is out, putting the banners up, and getting prepared.
Plus, I got some new tape. I got another old tape. I changed all the old tape. Put the old tape off there, went stripped the old tape before the show tonight, put new tape up. Our banner was falling down during the summer. It would get so hot, the tape would almost, the adhesiveness of the tape would decrease. So we got new tape up here tonight, got that going.
And I'm looking forward to a great game, great Friday night football. It's all about the kids, families, and friends, everybody just enjoying it. The most important part I look forward to is being back with Andy and Don. Miss you guys.
Well, before we close, Don, can you come here for 1 second? Just want Don to give us a quick insight here about, we were talking about that, the killings yesterday up at Smith Mountain Lake up in Virginia. And I was telling Dennis and the people listening the same thing, a similar thing had happened, not the same exact thing, but something like that happened when you were working at TV 45 about 20 years ago.
Yeah, we had, actually I wasn't at TV 45 at the time, but we actually had a gentleman come in who thought that Pat Robertson, the minister, was spying on him. And he had gone to Channel 12 because Channel 12 also aired the 700 Club, but he came over to Channel 45 and our sales manager came up to see what his problem was, and he shot him.
And killed him, right?
And killed him.
Yeah, I heard too many people use that parallel talking about the situation up in Virginia. I thought somebody might have brought that up on a local newscast, because it's kind of similar in some ways.
Yeah, well, they're bit crazy people. Channel 2's had somebody, the police had to arrest a gentleman at Channel 2 that came to want to shoot somebody at Channel 2, but luckily the person was, their security system got him isolated, and the police were able to apprehend him before he did any.
How recently has that been?
A few years back.
Yeah. I think being a disgruntled former employee really set things off with that guy up in Virginia in a bad way.
Yeah, and then he has some past history as well at other stations in Jacksonville.
Yeah, Tallahassee.
Absolutely. And had some other issues at other stations. And, when you have a mental capacity to plot and kill, and he had lost his job in 2013.
Yeah.
At
that station.
At that station.
In Roanoke.
Absolutely. Yeah. And he only worked on one assignment with the photographer, I heard, with the camera guy. And he never had an assignment with the lady. And they was wondering how did that parallel together.
I think there was a parallel. He felt like the lady had made a racial slur against him.
Against gays, absolutely. Against the gender, absolutely. And so it's the whole thing is a tragedy for America. It really is. And the young, 24 years old, they was in their prime of their life, 24 years old.
And he really got started good.
Absolutely.
I think that young lady could, just based upon the footage I saw of the past day, and it wasn't a lot, but quite a bit, saw a lot of photographs, I think she could have gone a long way in that business if she really was.
Absolutely, because her dad, when he came
she was getting ready to marry the anchor there, too.
Yeah. And matter of fact, what was it, the producer that was in there watching it that was going to...
The photographer was engaged to the producer.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that was his last day at the job.
Yeah, last day.
They were getting ready to move to Charlotte.
They were going to Charlotte, yeah. Crazy stuff.
Yeah. That is, your last day on an assignment.